unstoppable killing machine.
Guys, it's okay. He just wanted his machete back.
How do we get off the ship?
I don't know. Look, we're gonna be all right.
What, are you high?
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2001 classic horror sequel, Jason X. The film is directed by James Isaac, and we have Kane Hodder returning as Jason Voorhees. We have Lexa Doig, Jeff Geddes, David Cronenberg, who makes a cameo, Marcus Perillo, and we have Jonathan Potts and Lisa Ryder. Right, okay. This is Jason in space. It focuses at the beginning. Jason's in like a research center. He's being held, if you like, in stasis. And the idea is they're gonna, because they can't kill him, they tried everything, they're gonna freeze him. However, it doesn't really go according to plan. He ends up getting frozen, but so does somebody else. And then they are defrosted. Is it 400 years later, something like that? Taken on board a spaceship, and they are both, unfortunately, unfortunately for the crew anyway, Jason's defrosted, and they soon realise that everybody is in a little bit of trouble on this spaceship. Right, what are my thoughts on Jason X? Well, I don't think I'd ever seen this one before. There's as I've said, reviewing all the Jason and Friday the 13th films that I've covered on this channel leading up to this, I've got memories of watching some of them, but it's kind of a bit patchy, and some of them I've definitely not watched. And this is one of those Friday the 13th films or Jason films that you feel like you've watched, because you know it was kind of big news at the time. You know, Jason in space. It was kind of, you know, something to roll your eyes at, but quite an interesting concept. And I've seen clips of this, that, and the other. And but after watching it, I'm fairly sure that I'd never actually seen this one before, not fully anyway. And I was quite looking forward to this, mainly because the last one was so god awful. I really didn't enjoy the last one at all. So anything for me was going to be probably an improvement on the last one, and this one certainly is that. It's an improvement on the last one, but not by a huge margin. I mean, this has got some good things going for it. I mean, the concept, you know, it's a great concept. It's a fun concept. Jason in space. Essentially, it's Alien, but with you know, a homicidal maniac with a machete who can't die, rather than a xenomorph. And it's fun because you get to see Jason in all his glory in this film. You know, just lobbing limbs off, lots of inventive kills. So that side of the film is great because you get lots of Jason here and you get lots of kills, and it's quite fun. But beyond that, the rest of the cast are incredibly forgettable. There's nobody really that stands out. They're all basically just chopped meat for Jason. I'm not even sure I could tell you any of their names. So they don't do it at all. I mean, to be fair, you could argue that about many of the other films in the series, I know. But there was usually one at least standout character, sometimes two in the Friday the 13th films that, you know, was something in regards to, you know, memorable. I didn't find it here. I think the only memorable character here was the one that, like the robot sort of thing. But I also found her quite annoying as well. Far too cheerful to say she was a robot. And again, you know, the teenagers, you know, getting kinky and all this kind of stuff, and getting all, you know, sexy on this spaceship, and it basically, they had an opportunity here to kind of really put a fun twist on this franchise. But it's basically just Crystal Lake in space. You know, you've got teenagers still doing what teenagers did 400 years ago. Of course they would. You know, the annoying, the frustrating. They do make stupid decisions, and most of them you can't wait to see them getting, their heads lobbed off, sort of thing. So it's just, in regards to any kind of emotional depth, there's just nothing here. It's just really balls to the wall, Jason dialed up to 11, this one, really. And if that sounds good to you, then you're going to enjoy this one. Now, while this was a critical and financial failure when it was released, it ended up actually doing really quite well and being one of the most financially successful ones in the franchise, because it did well on like home video or DVD sort of thing. It more than made up for its budget when it was released like on home DVD and everything, and it's kind of developed some fans over the years. This one. The David Cronenberg cameo is quite fun as well. He's not in it a great deal. Apparently it was a favour as well to the director. I think, did he used to be one of his students or something like that anyway. And then you get the big showdown at the end. You get Jason going up against this robot, which is quite fun. And then you get, obviously, the Uber Jason, which was a great idea. And he looks fabulous. But he barely seemed to win anything as this Uber Jason, and that for me should have happened a lot earlier in the film. It would have been really, really cool to have more of the Uber Jason, because he just looked fabulous, I thought. Kane Hodder again does a great job as Jason here. The way he moves, like I say, his body movements, everything is very, very good. And even some light comedy moments from Jason as well here in this film, but, just in the way he kind of reacts to things and what have you. So I think this is, you can only really look at this film as, to some degree, as an opportunity missed. I think this could have really, really been a very, very memorable and fun Friday the 13th film, and there are aspects of it that are certainly fun, and I love the concept, and the special effects as well really surprised me. I thought they were of a very, very high standard. They didn't feel or look cheap for the most part. I think some aspects of the spaceship and stuff just looked like they were like taken off a Doctor Who set from the 80s, but for the most part, a lot of the effects I thought were very, very good, and I thought there's plenty of gore here, plenty of inventive kills, and it's, compared to certainly the last one in the series, it's something of a return to form, but there's no denying that this film is seriously flawed. It's got a great concept going for it, and it thinks it could just kind of stretch a whole film out of a concept alone, and unfortunately you need a little bit more than that, and the film doesn't have anything added to it that makes it anything more deep than a puddle, really. So yeah, great film to showcase Jason. Beyond that, not a great else to recommend about this one. So yeah, I've really enjoyed covering all these Friday the 13th films. The only one now to watch, I believe, is the 2009 remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it. I haven't seen that before. I've heard some pretty decent things about that one, so I'm going to watch that, and that'll be the end of my Friday the 13th reviews then. So yeah, stay tuned for that one, guys. I shall get that review up as soon as I can. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this review.